in order from 5 through to 1 who I believe are the best units in this game. Some of these choices may surprise you, some of them may shock you, and some of them might outright outrage you. But they're my opinions at the end of the day, and if you don't agree, it's absolutely fine. Let me know in the comments down below what you think are the actual top 5 units within the game. But for me, this is them. I'm going to stop waffling now because the first one is probably going to be the one that will shock you the most of all. So coming in at number 5, we've got Bison. Now, just to be clear here, they've made the top 5. We are talking the upper echelon of characters within this game. No one else, in my opinion, touches these characters for just how good they are. So to even make it into the top 5, it means you must be an exceptional character. So for me to have Bison here is not a slight on this character. It is an actual mountain of praise that I am heaping upon him. I just think the characters that I'm going to say after this point do more. And that's my opinion. Bison is a great unit. He is a unit who, if you are facing him in story and stuff like that, he does give you a lot of trouble, especially early game, right? But as a player, and as I've continued to play the game, I've found myself using Bison almost more as a trigger character than an actual active character within my combo chains, okay? He tends to sit there soaking up damage and dishing out massive damage in response, so he is still a great unit. Just as time has gone on, I find myself not using him as much as I used to, okay? Now, he does have some little quirks to his kit that is probably the reason why he's not ranked higher, and that is his explosive ability. That in itself can actually screw you up quite a lot unless you make modifications to his kit, like removing cars, because if you don't, what can actually often happen with Bison is you'll go to do a combo chain with him, he's in the middle of doing his explosion and you'll lose the combo. This can be quite annoying at times, and for that reason I do think, for me anyway, it pushes him a little bit further down. But those explosions are the reason why he is still on this list to begin with, okay? And he slots in on my list at the 5th best unit within the game. So who's going to follow that? I wonder if any of you have got a guess at this point in the video. So coming in at number 4, we've got Evil Ryu. Evil Ryu is an absolute beast when it comes to buffing, right? He is a unit that is going to make the rest of your units do more damage. He's also a trigger unit. He is going to do more passive damage being on your team in a position just simply by triggering more skills. However, his trigger skills can often miss the mark, right? And it's because in terms of fighting games, right, to use fighting games as an example, a lot of characters have hitboxes, essentially areas where their damage is going to take place, essentially, and he can miss quite a lot of times, and if that happens, you unfortunately miss out on damage from this guy. But the fact that he has got buffs within his kit that is going to make your character stronger, and he has them even if you've not got him leveled to triple S, right? They're there. He can function for you even if you do not have investment into this guy, right? This is why he makes my number 4 spot within the list, okay? He's going to make you do more, he's going to cause damage, he's going to buff your team, and ultimately he doesn't need that much investment to actually be viable, which you cannot say for a lot of units within this game. And if it wasn't for the fact that the next unit is a lot more accessible than this guy, he might be higher, right? But for this reason alone, he is making it onto this list at number 4. And here's a spoiler alert. He is the only character that is currently in the special summoning pool that is on this list. So you're never going to be able to guess the rest of this list. Coming in at number 3, we've got the boy Daim. Yes, Daim is number 3 on my list. The reason why Daim is number 3 on my list is this guy is insane. When it comes to damage numbers, if you use him in the correct way, and if you've got his cars, you need his cars, and if you've got his fighting spirit, you need his fighting spirit, he puts out insane numbers, right? There's also tactics where you can use stalling tactics to build this guy up even more using stacks of his yoga tower, and you can cause insane damage numbers to the enemy. And this guy is a factional unit. This guy is a unit that everyone probably has sitting in their box, maxed out, and he performs. Unlike the 2 units that have came before him on this list, he performs and he is easy to get, he's easy to max, and ultimately he is easy to use. If you use him in boss battles, you'll push more damage against the correct boss. He'll help you in stages. He can even help you in PvP, depending on your setups, etc. Daim is a monster. And obviously, by virtue of the rest of this list that's coming up, he, in my opinion, is the best free-to-play DPS. Move over Guile, move over Viper, Daim reigns supreme. In my opinion. Switching it up a bit now, number 2, we've got athlete ChunLi. I went to this page because I wanted to be able to play her entrance video. Athlete ChunLi is probably the best, or at least one of the best, support type shield units in the game. She's absolutely fantastic, right? Her ability will absorb damage. She is going to do so much for your squad. She's going to help you resist effects. She's going to increase your damage. She's going to decrease the damage that you take. She's even going to absorb damage using her Wind Vortex ability. And again, she's another character that even not having her at max investment level, you are going to see her help you. You are potentially going to be able to beat content using this character, even if you do not have her at SS. So think about it. If you've got her at SS, she is going to do so much for you. Now for me, I would possibly say that she is the best support character in the game. Some people might debate that, because there is some other decent support characters, like you've got Summer Elena, who isn't on this list, but that does not make her a great unit. Summer Elena's got quirks. She worked better maybe manual. I'm a bit of an auto player. Maybe if I was a manual player, I would put her on this top 5. But for me, she doesn't make it into the top 5 as an auto player. Athlete ChunLi, however, absolutely does. She's a great unit. If you can get her, I recommend getting her. But she is only the penultimate unit. I'm now going to talk about the best unit in the game. The very best unit in the game. And number 1, for me, hands down, without argument, the best unit they've ever added to this game, our boy, Goa Magala Ken. 100%, without doubt, in my opinion, he is the best unit they have ever introduced into this game. Which is actually ironic, as he was the first unit that they introduced to the game that wasn't in the standard banner. Now, I was discussing this last night, and it's actually what was the catalyst behind me making this video, and I was wondering if people actually agreed with me or not, and my boy Don immediately pops up, said this to Stu as a total package. GM Ken is hands down the single best unit in the entire game. Well said, Don. 100% agree with you there, my man. And I'm also drop me in it so that I don't get the total blame for calling him the best unit in the game. Now, the thing about Ken, I like Ken so much simply because you do not have to build around this guy. You can just put this guy in a team and he's going to do huge damage for you, right? Remember earlier I was talking about hitboxes? This guy's hitbox is massive. He doesn't hit people, he cleaves people, okay? And because he does such wide swings with his big sword, he hits people. Unlike a lot of other trigger characters who can miss, he doesn't miss. Ken will put up the numbers for you. Ken has really great assist as well. And not only that, even in attacking, he's got his Dragon Curse ability, which will also help you do even more damage within a battle. This man is not only the best trigger unit in the game, he is the best unit in the game. And it's why when people ask me, what should I do with my Starlight? I say, put it in Ken. That's what you should do, hands down. But the thing is, even if you haven't got your Starlight into him, he's still a great unit. You can still drop him onto teams when he isn't at Triple S. Sure, when he is at Triple S, he's going to do a lot more for you, right? But if you are someone who's been playing the game from the start, you have this guy. Whether you have him maxed or not, you have this guy. And he should be your number one priority when it comes to using your Starlight, because at this point in the game, despite every other character that has come after Ken, you will still time and time again see Ken popping up on Showdown, on boss battles, everywhere. Ken is still top unit in the game, best unit in the game. His damage is monstrous, his hitbox is monstrous, he doesn't take up an attack slot, it's free damage. This is also part of the reason why Evil Ryu isn't slightly higher on the list, because if it comes to having a choice of what trigger unit am I going to use, I'm going to use Ken every time, because the damage this guy puts out for you is astronomical. And he stands true and tall as the number one unit in this game. You can disagree with every other choice I've made and I will not fight you. If you try to disagree with this one, I will fight you in the comments. Ken, number one, he should have a crown. Hats off to the man, bow down to the king and all that stuff. Ken is your number one best unit in the game, according to Hayzink, according to Dawn. If you don't know, Dawn's a Twitch streamer. Check him out over on Twitch. I'll maybe drop a link to his channel. He plays other stuff. He plays this, but he plays other stuff. You can go and check him out. But he's also a solid tester. Loves to go in and try all the different little mechanics within the game and find little things out. And when someone like that's agreeing with my point of view, that's enough for me. Ken, top banana, top unit. If you've got him, build him. Don't worry about summoning him. Just use your Starlight on him. It will not be wasted. Trust me on this one, guys. So Ken is the winner. He's my number one. This was not a tier list. This was my top 5. Catch you in the next one. Peace.